But to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
Shadows sleeping in the dead of night. I light the match, they fear my fight. Street, I flicker like a war zone flare. They see me rise, but they won't dare. Some man cracks under my stride. Whispers chase me, they collide. Gun dreams heavy like gold chains. Every sorrow that screams my name. Be legendary, feel the fire in your chest. No second guessing, this is your test. Be legendary.
Yep, we are all about being legendary here on the Hoosier Legends Weekly Podcast. Welcome to episode number 14, another week of recapping Hoosier Legends conference stats, results, players, you name it. We're here to cover it, all things Hoosier Legends Conference. It's a pleasure to be with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. Mike Walden. Mike, how are you tonight?
I am doing absolutely wonderful, buddy. I had a opportunity to talk to one of our great basketball coaches in our conference today. Yesterday was able to watch, Tri-West Middle School basketball beat up on Lebanon. And hopefully tomorrow we're looking for a little middle school basketball action beating up on brand new Avon Middle School West. So
there you go.
Avon, one of those school corporations that are, touch our boundaries, now have 3 middle schools, 6th, 7th, and 8th. They used to just have 2 middle schools that were 7th and 8th. So they've kind of like redid how they're doing their schools. So it'll be interesting to see how they do athletics as well. Not that we care here at the Hoosier Legends, but in their middle school, they try to have like one school be the 8th grade A team and the 7th grade B team. And then the other school will be the 8th grade B team, 7th grade A team. So all the football players from all 3 middle schools were basically being shuttled to different schools.
Wow.
So it's kind of a logistical nightmare, but, still trying to just have 2 teams to be competitive, I guess. It's hard, when you start moving to that many middle schools, especially when your rival, Brownsburg, still only has 2 middle schools. So it'll be interesting to see how this basketball season works out for them and see what happens to them in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we always talk about shuffling the cards around, a little bit with this, the way that demographics are laid out and the logistical challenges of making it work within your own district, but then let alone in a conference. And obviously we know the news of, like down south in Terre Haute, where the plan is now to consolidate both Terre Haute North and Terre Haute South at some point in the near future. That will, vault them up into the 6A ranks. But then you've got schools, like you said, there's always been a lot of buzz around here about will Brownsburg build a second high school, or, obviously I don't know if Avon has the land and the capacity to be able to do that. I know that high school seems like it's been under construction for about the last 2 decades. And so, yeah, but then you split your talent up, right? And so that people are saying that will never happen, especially when you see the success that Brownsburg's having in football and really all their sports across the board right now. You just probably don't want to risk that. But yeah, it's interesting when you start, digging down a little bit deeper into the weeds on all that. So like you said, though, we're going to focus here on Hoosier Legends conference stuff. So, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, you saw me flash up all of the ways that you can touch base with us here on the show, the email, catch the shows on YouTube or Spotify. That's where we're posting them up. I'm trying to each week when I post the show up on YouTube, also section the show up so that if you want to jump to a particular part of the show, you can see what we're covering at different timestamps. I know some people want to listen just to their school's results or catch a certain sport or hear whatever portion of the program. So we're trying to do that for you guys up there as well. We're trying to push the show out into more revenue or more avenues and streams and things of that nature. So trying to push new content. As we said last week, had a chance to meet with the ADs and trying to come up with some ideas there. So thank you for supporting us and listening to us and helping us grow the show. It is tremendously appreciated. So with that, Mike, why don't we go ahead and jump into what we usually kick off the show with content-wise, which is our legendary performance spotlight. Do you want to read through this one or you want me to take it?
No, yeah, absolutely. Monrovia girls basketball player Zoe Walls. If you don't know that name, you better start tracking it because she is having a great, and I mean great, basketball season so far. Zoe has been on fire, averaging 26 points per game, nearly 7 rebounds, and over 4 steals per game. She has been a key reason the Bulldogs have gone out to their first 4-0 start in 37 years. We spoke to Coach Gibbs at Monrovia and asked him about Zoe, and he said Zoe genuinely loves basketball, and she is a basketball knowledge sponge. I love that her hobbies are basketball, and then on the side of that, she does basketball. So congrats to Zoe and the Lady Bulldogs. Way to be legendary. I mean, 26 points per game, leading her team 4-0, first time in 37 years. Who else or what else could be more legendary than that, Coach?
Yeah, that's right. And only a sophomore. So as we always say, if you don't know, you better ask somebody because she's going to be a stay here in the HLC for the next couple years, and she's going to be a handful. So Zoe, congratulations. Great work. Keep it up. That's pretty solid right out of the gate there. And so congratulations there on that. So, all right. We're taking a look at our conference standings, and really all we've got going up to this point in terms of conference matchups are on the girls basketball side. We don't yet have much in the way. We have had one swim conference matchup that we'll talk a little bit about today, and I don't believe we've seen yet any head-to-head on girls wrestling. All of the boys stuff is getting set to kick off here around Thanksgiving or shortly after the 1st of December, so we'll be sure to get all of those updates in as they start rolling in. But as we stand right now, and I believe this is up to date, at least conference-wise, it is. I know that we've had a couple of games that I think I pulled these overall stats before last night's matchup. So, for example, Beech Grove's coming in at 1-0 in the conference. I believe they are now 4-1 overall after their win last night. Indian Creek at 1-1 in the conference, 2-2 overall. Monrovia, as we mentioned, 4-0 overall, yet to play a game in conference. Tri-West at 2-1, yet to play a game. Triton Central 1-2, yet to play a conference game, and then Speedway 0-1, and they are 2-1 overall. And I think they may have dropped a game last night, so they may be at 2-2 at this point right now. So again, still real early on in the year here. Not much yet in conference matchups wise, just a couple here and there. So we're excited to kind of get that, going here over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll start to bounce more into conference play. And I know we've got a big one on tap coming up when Triton Central takes on Monrovia Friday night. We'll talk a little bit about that game here as we get into our individual schools and whatnot. So, Mike, do you want to run us through some of the scoring leaders that you pulled?
Yeah, so we got top 5 in scoring, assists, and rebounds. Now, most of this is on a per game basis. So, we'll talk here a little bit about, Cameron Wolf, who is leading the conference right now in rebounds per game, but that's with one game marked, So she's still got the number 1 spot with 12 rebounds per game. Number 2 will be Alexa. And how did you say that last name, Coach?
Sichting?
Yeah, Stickteen. She is a tremendous basketball player. We talked about how great Zoe Walls is, and I think, Zoe's probably going to be an all-conference player, and Alexa Shitteen looks like she's going to be one too right now. I mean, She's averaging 11 rebounds right now, and she is averaging 5 assists per game, and she's averaging 16 points a game. So look out for her name as well. But Harper Moore, one of the names that we say constantly on this podcast, she's number 3 in the conference with 8.5 rebounds per game, and that's over a 4-game span. And then the next two have both played 3 games. Mary Rose Felling is averaging 8 rebounds per game, and Brinley Hamblin is averaging 7.7 rebounds per game from Monrovia. Going to assist, at the number 1 spot is Quinn King from Triton Central, averaging 7 assists per game. Reese Tunnel from Indian Creek is second with 5.7 assists per game. Anaya Anthony from Tri West is at 5.3. We talked about Alexa there starting at 5. And then Layla Compton from Triton Central with 4 assists per game. And then as we go to the scoring leaders, all of the following 5 ladies have scored or have played 3 games for these stats. Number 1, we've said her name before. We're going to say it again. It's Mary Rose Felling from Triton Central. After 3 games, coach, she is averaging 27.7 points per game. That is unbelievable.
Yeah, it's good
And then
stuff.
we talked about Zoe Walls from Monrovia. She's at second place with 26 points per game. Number 3, we have Madeline Metelic. She's at 17.7. Alexa, again, from Indian Creek, is at 16 points. And then rounding it out at number 5 is Anaya Anthony at Tri West, averaging 15 points per game. So just a lot of offense being produced by these ladies. So congratulations to all of them, and let's keep it up.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know we've talked about it briefly off air that when you look at those, you see some of the same names coming up. There's a lot of double candidates that I see when I go through box scores. We'll hear that here in just a little bit. Steals, man, these girls are getting after it. I constantly see, 6, 7 steals in the box scores for some of these teams. So just some really, really good numbers being put up across the board. So you're absolutely right. Keep it up, girls. Keep playing hard. It's a joy to see you guys being successful out of the gate here. So let's jump on into going through our schools. We've got a lot of stuff to cover here for only a couple of sports going on. It's action packed. And so we want to make sure we get through and shout out as many of the young ladies out there that are putting in work as we can. So I'll kick us off here with the Beech Grove Hornets. On the girls basketball side, it was a solid week on the court for the Lady Hornets. They bounced back after a tough loss to Whiteland last week to defeat Greenfield Central last Thursday in overtime by a score of 53-45. Harper Moore led the Hornets with 16 points and 12 rebounds in that game. She was followed closely by junior Olivia Stowers, who had 15 and 9. Alayla Muffler had a solid all-around game, going for 9 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. Then yesterday, the ladies took on Indianapolis Lutheran and destroyed the Saints by a score of 50-14. Stifling defense, absolutely getting it done there. In that game, Harper Moore had 16, Sage Yeri 10, Layla Muffler 9, Harmony Burks 9, Ariana Turner 4, and Olivia Stowers 2. So up next for them will be Ron Colley tomorrow night. So congratulations to Coach Selk and the Lady Hornets on a really good week on the court there. Keep that up, and good luck against, I almost said the Rebels. Ooh. The Royals. Shame on me. All right, girls wrestling. The Lady Hornets participated in the 2025 Marion County Tournament on Saturday. Here are the girls who placed for them. At 115, Aubrey Klein, 4th place. At 120, Anna McCarthy, 1st place. Congratulations to Anna on that 1st place win there, a county champion. At 125, Liliana Lozano, 1st place. So congratulations there as well. Another 1st place victory there. 130, Anaya Nevers came in 3rd place. At 135, Mia Ortega coming in at 5th place. At 140, Trinity Coleman, 5th place. At 145, Caitlin Dibberin, 1st place. Congratulations, Caitlin. That's awesome. At 170, Jocelyn Stinson, third place. And at 235, Jenna Johnson, sixth place. So that's a lot of placers for the Lady Hornets there in the Marion County tournament. I know there's some really good wrestling programs. I know Pike has a really solid girls wrestling program. I saw a couple of other teams that had some names continually popping up. So that's a really, really solid showing. Unfortunately, and if anyone is listening to this, I know I said I've got a son that wrestles. We talked about this, I think, last week. I know there's been a switch over from track wrestling to USA wrestling. I have not found an easy way to be able to pull results. Now, there's a lot of great analytics on that site, but I haven't really seen a real user-friendly way to pull overall results or team results. So I did not, for example, find who the team champion was anywhere that I could find on USA Wrestling for the 2025 Marion County tournament. So I would think with that performance there and the number of placements that Beech Grove had, they had to be pretty close to the top. So if somebody can fill us in on that, that'd be greatly appreciated. And I'll continue to ask around and see if maybe I'm just missing something over there. So, all right, girls swimming, as I said, they dropped a contest to Speedway yesterday, and they were right back at it tonight against Lawrence Central and Warren Central. And again, hadn't seen anything yet. That meet kicked off at 5:30 this afternoon, evening. So as soon as we have a result for that, we will include it into our next episode if we get it. And again, as we always say, this is our obligatory post in the show here that if you are affiliated with any of these programs and you would like your swimmers and divers to be shouted out for their performances, please send us a place where we can find the results, or if you have them, send them to us. We would greatly appreciate that. So that will do it for the Hornets. Mike, I'll let you take over with the Indian Creek Braves.
Heck yeah, man. The Braves, the Lady Braves took the court against New Pal last week and dropped a tough one to the Dragons by a score of 53-36. The game was close after the first, with the Dragons only holding a 2-point lead after the first quarter. The Dragons then gradually pulled away to earn the victory. And then on Tuesday, Indian Creek opened up Johnson County tournament play against Center Grove and dropped a tough one by a score of 49-42. They were back in action against Franklin on November 25th. We talk about this all the time, man. When you're going against big schools, it's tough for a 3A school to go against these 4A schools like Center Grove. I think Center Grove is probably like top 10, top 15 biggest schools in the state of Indiana, I think. Yep. They just have a lot of people to pull from. And so for Indian Creek to be within 7 points is a moral victory, you could say. And, and if you've heard me in past podcasts, you'd know that I love New Pal. What Kyle Ralph has done over there for the football program probably is only outshined for what he's done in the weight room. He's their strength and conditioning coach, and I think you can just see that in every single sport. He's got those kids bought in, and they're beasts. On every single thing that they're doing. So congratulations to New Pal. Here in the Legends, we need to kind of learn what they're doing and start adapting to that. All of us could use some New Pal intelligence over here. Going over to girls wrestling. On Saturday, the Lady Braves traveled to Penn. It's just unbelievable that we travel all the way to Penn. I mean, that is in the region really close to Chicago, and it just goes to show you, like, these girls love wrestling and the community loves it so much that they're willing to, what is that? Is that like a 3-hour drive to Penn?
From there, it probably is every bit of it from yeah.
That's good for them. You know what I mean? Like I complained having to drive to Lebanon, like I said earlier, and that's a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine driving 3 hours, and especially with a wrestling tournament. It's just, you don't know when your daughter's going to go. You don't how many times she's actually going to wrestle. And so for all those families in the wrestling community, good on you guys. That's so much dedication. But they traveled to Penn as one of the 53 teams in the Sarah, what would that be, the Hildebrandt Invitational. This was a tough and deep field, so congratulations are in order to Ella Nybert, first place champion of the Sarah Hilbrand Invitational at 105. And if you remember that name, it's because you've heard it in cross country. She's the one who finishes just behind Libby Dowdy, right? The state champion. Ella is also number 1 ranked in the state of Indiana at the 105 weight class. So Miss Nybert goes from cross country, right behind Libby Dowdy, getting pushed the whole time, learning from a state champion, to the mat, and we've kind of talked about that, and the mindset of a cross country runner versus a mindset of a wrestler. I feel like it's in 2 different ways, but yet the same, right? I mean, you're just pushing yourself to the ultimate test, whether it's by yourself in cross country or in wrestling. Now you're pushing yourself against somebody else to the most extreme possible. So I would have to say Ella is probably one of the strongest minded persons out there.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that a good way to say that? I feel like there's a better way to say it.
No, I mean, mental toughness.
Mental toughness, yeah. She just has that mental fortitude to just push herself so far beyond, everybody else's limits. So congratulations, Ella. Like, you're something special.
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to go on to the Bulldogs?
Yeah, absolutely. I can talk up some Monrovia here. So we kind of went through this at the beginning with the legendary performance spotlight, but Monrovia girls basketball off to the hot start here, 4-0. Last week, the Lady Bulldogs defeated Webo 61-40. And that was the last Thursday. Zoe Walls paced the Lady Dogs with 22 points and 5 steals. As a team, the Bulldogs turned the Stars over 23 times. That's a lot of pressure. Then on Saturday, the team took down the Covenant Christian Warriors 54-50. So congratulations to the Lady Bulldogs again on that great start. They will take on Triton Central in a huge HLC contest on Friday. Now, you might have heard me in the conference standings say that Triton Central is currently 1-2. You don't be fooled. They have played a very tough schedule out of the gate. Triton Central has. So do not be fooled by that 1-2 record and the 4-0 record. And I know Coach Gibbs is probably telling his girls the same thing. Don't you dare walk into that game Friday night thinking that you're just going to go in and take down Triton Central, because Coach Graham and those ladies out there, like we said, they're a little bit slow, probably hit by the volleyball bug out there, right? Because their girls went deep in volleyball. So I would assume that he's just now getting some of those girls into basketball shape. And I would imagine they're only going to get stronger and better as the season progresses there. So I think this game coming up could be huge for both teams. I hate saying like make or break in terms of conference, winning the conference or anything, but, in terms of confidence, right, for both teams, whoever comes out victorious, whether it's Monrovia and they move to 5-0, or it helps jumpstart and get Triton Central back in that win column and beat an undefeated team, that's going to do a lot for both of those programs there. So looking forward to kind of following along with that and seeing what the result comes out there for that game. Did not see any results or anything for Monrovia girls wrestling, so I'm not sure if they went to a tournament last weekend. I know that I think every team in the conference has a girls wrestling program, but unfortunately I did not see anything, and I didn't see their name pop up on any of the invites that I looked at on USA Wrestling. So if have any insight in there on Monrovia girls wrestling, shoot us a note, and again, we'll be happy to work that in. So with that, we will kick it on over to the Speedway Spark Plugs.
Yeah, the Westsiders girls basketball moved to 2-1 this season after defeating Greenwood Christian Academy last Friday by a score of 50-38. Sophomore Madeline Matlick led Speedway with 18 points and 10 rebounds and 5 steals. Senior Haley Clampett also had a solid game with 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 steals. The Spark Plugs used smothering defense to rack up 52 steals. The last night, the Sparkplugs took on Shelbyville and dropped that contest by a score of 61-20. The Lady Sparkplugs are now 2-2 on the season and will take on Cascade tomorrow night. So good luck to the Plugs against the Cadets. Girls wrestling, like Beech Grove, the Lady Sparkplugs participated in the Marion County tournament on Saturday, and here were their placers. They actually had one county champion, and that was at the 130 weight class. And that was Janla Dale. So congratulations to her. At the 115, they had Mabel, and she finished 6th place. At 125 was Brooklyn Martin at 4th place. At 135, Molly Thomas got 6th place. 140, Emily Hernandez was county runner-up. At 155, Mia Custer-Smith got 4th place. And at 235, Brianna Pera-Pino got 5th place. So congratulations, ladies, on that. Taking on one of the largest counties, or probably the largest county in Indiana. And girls swimming, the Lady Sparkplugs swim and dive team defeated conference opponent Beech Grove 95-54. Congrats to the girls on the win. They'll be back in action next week on the 24th against Decatur Central and Bishop Chatard. And that has got to be a tough one. I have to assume Decatur and Bishop Chatard are going to be really, really good. I've never really looked into the swimming before, so I'm not really sure how Chatard is. Do you know anything about them, Coach?
No, I would imagine that they're pretty good, but every now and then it's surprising you'll get like a small private school like that isn't very good at a sport like that. You would think it would be the opposite, and I don't know why, but yeah, I don't know. I would assume so, but who knows? I will learn a lot more about swimming and diving this year as my youngest son is participating in swim this year for Tri-West. So I'm probably going to split up between some wrestling tournaments and some swimming invites. And so I'll probably get to know a little bit more throughout the season. I'll get you a scouting report on that.
Yeah, appreciate that, Coach.
All right, moving on to the Bruins here. The Lady Bruins dropped their first contest of the season last Thursday by a score of 50-43 against the University Blazers in a back-and-forth contest. The Blazers pulled away late in the second half to secure the win. The Bruins will be back in action Friday night when they take on county rival Danville. Yeah, I know, boo. And I know I called that game against University for the Tri-West Sports Network. It was my first opportunity to catch the ladies up close. Saw that they had won their first couple of games against Perry Meridian, and I forget who they started the year off against, but got a win as well. It's a really solid program. And talking to a lot of the girls' coaches, I think everybody kind of sees the depth of girls basketball in the HLC this year, and it's really going to be kind of a war of attrition in the conference. I'm sure we're going to see some teams beat up on each other. It would not surprise me to see one bit there be a 2-loss co-champ or champ even in this conference, just because of the pure depth that it has across the board. There's no easy nights off at all with any of these 6 teams. So I know that the Lady Bruins are kind of facing a little bit of the injury bug and some numbers being down and everything like that, but they were scrappy. Because that university team was really good. They had a pair of twins on the team that were really solid, and then they had about 2 6-footers that they ran out there. And so that was a really big challenge, and the Bruins were right in it, like I said, throughout most of the game. And unfortunately, the Blazers pulled away at the end. But that's going to be a really scrappy, tough, fun team to watch with the Tri-West Bruins there. In girls wrestling, last weekend, the girls wrestled in the Purdue Polytechnic Invite. That invite had 36 teams in it. And this is what Coach Ken McCoy had to say via Twitter. Tough day today at the Purdue Polytech Invite today for our lady wrestlers out of 48 teams. So they must have bumped it, because last I saw there were 36. They must have more jump in. Out of 48 teams, Kinsey Lester placed 6th and Camber Posey went 3-2. Jesse Scalaro is improving every match, which is awesome. I know that the Lady Bruins have a state qualifier from last year. Grace Marshall at 190. She was in the ER the night before that being sick. I have her in class right now, and I know she's just now getting over whatever she had, sinus, flu, whatever it was. I know she looked pretty miserable, and she's still trying to get her breathing and everything. I'm sure it's going to take her some time to get back into shape after being out for so long, but I know she'll bounce back, and she's kind of the heart and soul of the wrestling group there. Those other girls hold their own, but she's kind of that senior leader, and obviously having that state qualifier experience will help those girls as they get going. I know our girls team participated in a swim. The girls swim team participated in a contest over the weekend, but I could not find results anywhere and had not had a chance to talk to the coaching staff out there to find how things went. Again, once we get that, we will be sure to pass it along. So that will take us to our final team, which is the Triton Central Tigers.
Yeah, right off 74 on the east side, the Lady Tigers dropped a heartbreaker to Eastern Hancock Royals on Saturday by a score of 57-58 to move to 1-2 on this young season. I know, Coach, you talked about it. Don't be taking these girls. How'd you say it? They're 1-2.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Yeah, lightly. They're a lot better than this 1-2 record. Triton Central was led by senior Mary Rose Feeling, who went for 31 points. I mean, that's just amazing. 31 points and 10 rebounds. Junior Kate Collar had 11 points and 5 rebounds. Triton Central had 2 really tough matchups to start the season and will be a good test against HLC foe Monrovia on Friday. And I think, that's going to be our game of the week. And those two teams going at it, anybody who can go down there and watch that game will see 2 great girls basketball teams going against one another. In girls wrestling, New Pal defeated Triton 42-24. The match winners were Prop, Siegel, and Gray and Burmeister. So Siegel, Gray, and Burmeister all got the pin for the win. Congratulations to them. Once again, kind of lacking details when it comes for the girls swimming program and the boys swimming program. But as they continue to compete, we'll get more stats out there and be able to give some shout outs to all the great swimming that's being taken place in the HSC.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like I said, the more that content-wise we can get from you guys, the better. So your swimming coaches, your wrestling coaches, if you're catching this, feel free to put them in contact with us. It can be just as simple as giving our email exchange. And if they just want to email us results or can pinpoint a website, like I know, like I said, using USA Wrestling for the wrestling stuff. I did try to look around to see if there was a swimming website. Unfortunately, I didn't see much there. We know what we're going to be able to get in terms of the 2 basketball, programs and whatnot. But we would still want to be able to shout out all of our student athletes who are putting in hard work in the pool, on the mat, on the court. It does not matter. We want to celebrate you guys and, discuss all the great things that are happening here in the HLC. So I think, Mike, that's probably about it, unless you've got anything else that you want to hit up on this episode tonight.
No, sir, man. HLC is kicking full swing with basketball. I know a lot of people, boys basketball, scrimmages taking place, getting ready for next week. The ladies are already killing it. Swimming's coming in. Boys wrestling's about to be starting to get busy here, Coach. Yeah,
absolutely. And we will roll out the interviews that we did with the boys coaches. I know as of right now, we've got 2 video interviews, 1 phone interview that we were able to do with Coach Wanell over at Speedway. We got video interviews with Coach Strine and Coach James, Coach Strine being at Tri-West, Coach James being at Triton Central. We're in the works to try to get some stuff from Coach Getzler down at Indian Creek and to get Coach who do we have left in, I say? Coach Barber at Monrovia, and Coach Sanders at Beech Grove. So been in contact with those guys. We're going to try to see. We completely understand and know this is a extremely busy time. You got parent meetings. You've got, like you said, your scrimmage is already kicking off. You're trying to get things implemented and everything. So we certainly do appreciate the time. And like I said, we will post those interviews up individually. And then on our next show, we will go over and recap the answers that we got in other forms, because we sent out some forms that coaches could fill out if they didn't have time to sit down and go through an interview with us, recorded or over the phone. And real quickly, too, is just as a scheduling update, we will probably not bring a show to you next week, with that being the day before Thanksgiving. I know I will be out of town, and Mike, I'm sure you want to spend some time with your family. So we will be back with you again after Thanksgiving week, and that'll give us some even more stuff, because we will have pretty much all sports this season up and going at that point, at least with some action on the board there. So that'll be a little bit more of a traditional length podcast show there. So yeah, that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking out the show, and for continuing to give us support. We will see you again next time on the Hoosier Legends Weekly Podcast.
My heart sings, I'm with the city streets. I'm not the hero, I'm the storm they fear. Thunder in my veins, crystal clear. Walls try to